Hello everyone, this is Senrex from the Order 66 Hellions, and this is part 2 to my comprehensive REVA guide series. We're going to be going over the actual REVA mission today. First and foremost, let's go over the itinerary. If you missed part 1 was all about the modding and how to approach the mission. First, we talked about who could do this guide. Second, we talked about the basics of the REVA mission, how to tackle it. And third, we talked about the mods that are necessary to accomplish the mission. In part 2, we're going to be answering some of the questions from the first video. Then we're going to be going through the basics of the REVA mission. And then I'm going to do a REVA battle walkthrough. And lastly, I'm going to go through my conclusions on the mission. Part 3 will be coming out as well. Part 3 is going to be an Order 66 Hellions REVA mission montage. I'm going to have a collection of 7 to 10 battles, and it's really going to teach you how to adapt to different situations that you might find yourself in when you're going through the mission. First and foremost, let's answer some questions from part 1. First, I had a couple questions about speed. If your mods are not quite fast enough, what should you do? I would say that you definitely want to slice the mods up in order to get those protection primaries with good enough speed secondaries so that your Inquisitors reach the thresholds that I recommended. And if you don't want to do that, you should certainly strip mods from better characters and give them to your Inquisitors for the mission, then return them after the mission. This is a little bit painful, and a lot of people say that they don't like remodding like that, which is the second question I got. I hate remodding. Like, what should I do with that? If you hate remodding, you should still remod because, as Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. You don't get a participation point for just participating in the mission. If you do not beat the mission, your guild does not get a REVA shard and you're setting everyone back. So don't be selfish and remod your characters. First, let's go through the basic strategy. The best way to really learn this is through situational analysis, and after this portion, I'm going to be showing my REVA battle and how I accomplished it. But I'm going to go through the basics of how to do this first. First, you're going to want to follow my mod guide from part 1. There are a couple important notes that I'm going to go through first. First, keep your Inquisitors, except for 9th Sister, between 330 and 280 speed. Second, you don't want to complete health sets. Information on that in the first video. The turn order should be 7th, 5th, 8th, Grand Inquisitor, then 9th. 5th and 8th are interchangeable, but I like to use 5th before 8th. Damage over times and thermal detonators do damage based on health percentage, so the less health and more protection, the more survivability your characters are going to have. And then second, phase 2 is pretty easy and straightforward. You literally just ability block Kenobi and you'll be fine. So how to win phase 1? First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that your characters follow the mod guide in part 1. If you do not have the characters following the mod guide in part 1, you are not going to be successful in this mission. The first Inquisitor that's going to get to go is 7th Sister. You're going to want to use her ID 9 Electroshot Prod on the Jawa that has the most buffs. This is going to convert all the buffs on the Jawa into Purge. 5th and 8th are then going to attack. You're going to want to use their basic to inflict 0 to 1 stacks of Purge on the same Jawa that you dispelled the buffs from. Your goal is to get it to 6 stacks of Purge before Grand Inquisitor goes. So 5th and 8th are both going to attack, inflicting 0 to 1 stacks of Purge, and they're going to call 7th in to assist, inflicting 0 to 1 stacks of Purge. Typically, by the time the Grand Inquisitor goes, you'll be able to hit 6 stacks of Purge, and you're going to want to use his Ready to Die on the enemy that has 6 stacks of Purge. This is going to grant your allies tenacity up for 2 turns, which is going to limit the ability of the Jawas to apply thermal detonators to your squad. Then you're going to have 2 turns to kill off Jawa Scavenger and get it to where they're no longer going to be applying thermal detonators. Now I know this is a lot to digest, but let's go ahead and get into the video example of how to conquer this mission. Alright guys, here we are about to start the mission. First thing, I get a lot of questions asking what turn order you should use. There's no really specific turn order that you need to use, other than the fact that you want 9th Sister in the 5th slot, because she's very, very, very large, and if you have her in any other slot, there's a good chance that when you're trying to pass abilities over to some other allies, you're not going to be able to do so successfully. So make sure you put 9th Sister in the correct slot. My mods are all in order, so let's get right into this battle. It's also important to note that my guild has all platoons completed successfully. So the Jawas are going to open up, they're going to inflict stuns, and that's not great. They stunned my 7th sister. That's a problem. Now, what I'm going to notice here is that a couple characters have 2 stacks of Purge. So I'm going to target Jawa to see if we can get him up to 6 stacks of Purge before Grand Inquisitor goes. Apply Basic, boom, 3 Purge. Basic again, let's see. So we did not get 6 Purge. So at this point, we're kind of in panic mode because this is not the best situation. So we're just going to run a Basic with Grand Inquisitor to get more Purge and try and get him up to 6. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that. 15 landmines on Grand Inquisitor, not great, not what we'd like to see. Still no 6 stacks of Purge. 20 mines, not good. This looks like it's going to be a loss. We finally got to her. We used the electroshock prod on him. 6 stacks of Purge finally. This is going to be a loss, guys. So we're going to use Ready to Die. We've got the tenacity up, but we're not going to survive the next turn. So we're just going to move around. We're going to use a basic on Jawa so that he doesn't make it to the next turn. Jawa is stunned. All right, now we're on very low health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cleanse with the middle ability to see if I can keep my 2nd sister and my Grand Inquisitor alive for another turn. So I'm going to target Jawa Engineer. All right, let's see. So now I'm going to pop an AoE just to get a bunch of damage on the field. See if my 7th sister is going to survive this. Okay. So Jawa's going to die next time he takes a turn. As you can see, he's got 12 damage over time effects. So we're going to target Chief Nebbit. Chief Nebbit looks like he's going to die. Okay, so we lost 7th sister. Not the end of the world. Now we just need to stick around here for a little bit longer. We're going to use basic on him because these 2 Jawas are both going to die next turn. So they're going to be dead. All right, we're still in it. We're still in it. All right, we've made it through phase 2. We've only got 4 Inquisitors left. We should be able to defeat Kenobi. So the main goal for Kenobi is you're going to want to ability block him. Unfortunately, the best way to ability block him is to use the electroshock prod on Kenobi, and we do not have that anymore. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to see if we can get around to another ability block. All right, so Kenobi's got damage immunity. That's not what we want to see. Let's see what we can do. Consume all stacks of Purge, and for each Purge removed, inflict damage over time. Nope. Deal physical damage and inflict daze down, which can't be resisted. It's not going to work. Deal damage, target enemy, inflict physical damage. So we have no ability blocks. Okay, so Kenobi's going. Right here, we're going to dispel all buffs. That's good. We're going to get rid of his tenacity. We're going to use basic. We're just going to get some damage on him. 6 stacks of Purge. And now we're not going to use our cleanse yet because we don't have enough damage over time. So we're just going to keep using the basic. All right. Right here, physical damage, inflict accuracy down burning. Jedi enemies, damage inflicted with blind and burning. So we're going to inflict with blind. We could have used a 3rd ability as well. All right, we dodged. That's great. Thank you, blind. So now we're just going to keep using basics. I'm going to use the 3rd special to get tenacity up. Now we're going to use his 3rd ability. This is going to inflict armor shred and do massive damage. Okay, and we got an ability block. So with 9th sister, we're going to do a basic. Okay, we're going to do a basic, and we're getting a little low. So now we're going to want to use our cleanse. Got the damage over times of our boys, and we're just going to basic. Kenobi is not the biggest issue, although you can lose at this phase. We're going to use a special here. Yep, get him dazed. You're going to use this, inflict a expose on him. Do another basic. Yeah, Grand Inquisitor is getting a lot. We're going to use our AoE. Okay, we blinded him. Okay, he basic, he missed. We're going to use a special. Take him down, hopefully. Nope. Going to use this one, give my guy invulnerability. Didn't work. Basic. Let's see. Okay, Kenobi's barely alive. Let's see. Basic. Come on. Take him out. Oh, we're going to lose now, aren't we? We got to cleanse that off. Yeah, blind on Kenobi. Just use basics. Kenobi dodged. We got 6 stacks of Purge. We're gonna grant it. We're gonna use our special again. Get armor shot on Kenobi again. Boom, ability block. Basic. We're gonna do special. Basic. Pop an AoE. All right, are we gonna get him? Let's get him here. Oh, he's ability blocked. Basic. Oh my goodness. So that was not the best walkthrough that I would have wanted to give, as that was easily the worst RNG I have ever seen while doing this mission, and we still pulled through thanks to our modding. I'm not going to lie, my heart was racing a lot, but we're going to have a little bit more breakdown and hopefully some other missions where the RNG is not nearly that terrible. The general idea was we wanted to be able to use Seventh Sister's Electroshock Prod to get 6 stacks of Purge before Grand Inquisitor went. And the worst case scenario occurred, where the Jawas stunned Seventh Sister. Even though that happened and we lost her before we made it to the Kenobi mission, we were still able to finish him off because we used the basic principle. You want to use the basics of your Inquisitor's abilities 90% of the time, as that's what inflicts Purge and that's what gives you bonus effects. Eighth Brother's third special ability inflicts ability block and armor shred when the opponent has 6 stacks of Purge. So this is a very useful ability to use on Kenobi, as he is extremely tanky, and once you've lost your Seventh Sister, you're not going to be able to ability block, which is not what you want to hear. So even given this terrible RNG, we're able to complete the mission. Everyone, now that we have conquered the mission, I'm going to draw little conclusions on what happened. First of all, the REVA mission's not that bad once you have the strategy and mods down. It really isn't. It's a lot less RNG dependent than the CAN mission or even the Watt mission. As in the CAN mission and the Watt mission, there's a chance that one of the opponents is going to do a massive attack that's just going to kill someone. Meanwhile, in the REVA mission, no one really does that much damage to your Inquisitors. Second, don't be afraid to reassign mods. Trust me, once you get REVA, you'll understand how worth it she is. Third, remember that Part 3 is coming out later today, and that's going to help with different scenarios that you may face that are not exactly represented in mine. Different RNG types, different stuns that the Jawas could apply, and different occurrences in the mission. You could experience terrible RNG or great RNG, and this video is really going to help out for people that need help in the situation, how to conquer. You need help in different situations on how to conquer the mission. A couple tips: take your time. The abilities on the Inquisitors are very confusing. If you need to take a moment to reread an attack description, do it. There's no time limit on the mission, so you can take as much time as you want. And second, I'd work with your guildmates. We have a stream team in my guild, and that works very well. So we have 4 or 5 REVA experts in there that help each and every member walk through the mission in order for them to understand the strategy better as well as conquer the mission. This REVA mission is a guild effort. You should not be doing it all by yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. In case you're unaware, I'm doing free roster reviews. The first one actually came out yesterday, and my goal is to give you a few tips on how to improve your roster today. What I'm not going to be doing is embarrassing you or roster shaming you. I understand people farm what they want to farm, and that's perfectly all right. There's no shame in taking your Jedi Consular up to Relic 8 if you love that character. Lastly, a little guild plug. If you're tired of your guild not getting all the REVA shards, consider joining my guild, the Order 66 Hellions. We get the most REVA shards out of any guild under 400 million galactic power. Thank you guys so much for watching.